Rosie, these little coconut tarts are delicious. Crispy, lots of coconut and lots of cream in there as well. And they're really, really easy to make.
All right.
See how easy the pastry came out of the box?
It's a good start.
It's a very, very good start. And this is filo pastry, very, very easy to use. The trick is, take it out of the fridge and let it come up to room temperature for 10 to 15 minutes. Now, I've got some butter in here. I'll pour this butter into the little jug here, and that'll, make it even easier to use. Instead of having to muck around with a big pot, I've got my little jug there. My little pastry brush, you'll grab one sheet here, and they're very, very thin sheets, so you've got to be careful to make sure there's not a couple stuck together. Pick it up gently like this.
Delicate baking.
It is, it is. This is probably the only part you have to be careful with. And just brush it with the butter. Now, you can put a fair bit of butter on here, but if you just run your brush over it so it just moistens a little bit, you'll see that's the right amount to put on there. You spread it all the way along. Now, if you want to, you can do it my way. I brush this one here as well so that I've got 2 layers and it makes it nice and easy. And then I pick this one up and pop it onto there, grab another layer, and then pop it onto here as well. You can see sometimes it might look a little bit like this. You just stretch it out and butter it up.
It's very easy to work with, isn't it?
It is, it is. And if it does fold over, don't worry about it. It just keep brushing it and it comes together. So I brush this one like this.
So the more layers, the crunchier it is.
Of course, the thicker it is and the crunchier it is, Rosie. Now, while I'm doing this, you've got a bowl in front of you there,
yes,
Rosie.
Get me working.
I want you to separate the egg that I've got over there.
Yep.
Separate, put the yolk in there. The 1/4 cup of sugar and the big tablespoon of corn flour into that bowl there, and then you're going to put some milk and cream in it. But you let me know when you get there. You brush it all the way to the edge there, and I'll pop this on here, and I'll just do one more sheet to make it even more thick and delicious. Okay, that's the last sheet there. I'll pop that on top. And then this, you just wrap it up, pop it back in the packet with some cling film, and it stays ready for the next one. Pop it over there. Now, this piece here, Rosie, I'm going to cut into 6 little pieces. And I've got a round cutter here, metal cutter. You could just use a big bowl or a glass and cut around it, but I've got plenty of these cutters. And you just sort of push it down like that and it cuts it out. Do another one like that. And then I'll show you my little trick here. Make sure you butter these little things here. A little bit of butter around the tin here like this. And then you just need to grab these little pieces straight out of here like this. And then you pop them into the tin like that.
Too easy that is, isn't it?
Isn't it? So I'll cut this out and I'll get you to put those little pieces in there. Don't worry if there's little edges on there, if it doesn't cut all the way through. There we go. That little one there, one for you. And you can see it's really simple to do. And if you're using a knife, it'll cut off really easily. Give it a bit of a twist and it tears away. Last little one there, tear that off there. Now these little pieces here, you could pop on a tray, sprinkle them with sugar and use them later on. We won't do that. We'll save it for something else. There we go. And then all we need to do, Rosie, is pop this in the oven for about 8 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. So into the oven they go. Now, Rosie, while they're baking, I'm going to put 3/4 cup of milk into that jug there and pour it into the yolks, the sugar and the corn flour. And you're going to measure out 1/3 cup of cream into there as well.
Okay.
And I just stir it around here to dissolve the sugar, the corn flour and the yolk and get it all together. And this is the base of a custard. And then all I need to do is pop it onto the stove. I reckon that's about 1/3 cup. Go on a little bit more, Rosie.
Okay.
The cream will make it nice and creamy. They work together so well. Give that a bit of a shake. Now, I've got my pot over here. Turn it on. There we go. Put on a low heat. And then all you need to do is pour the mixture into the pot here like this. And then whisk it up till it becomes nice and dissolved. It'll thicken up beautifully. This will be delicious. Okay, Rosie, you can see the custard's thickening up beautifully. If you can put the coconut in there and a couple of drops of almond essence, we'll stir it down for a minute or so, pop it into a bowl, into the fridge to cool down, and then we'll pull the whole thing together. Rosie, the custard fits in beautifully.
So such an easy, quick recipe, isn't it?
You could toss this together, no problem at all. And the beauty of it is you could have these little tart shells in a plastic container, airtight container, in the pantry. Pull them out when you've got people coming around, and there you go, got a lovely little dessert.
Lovely.
Now pass it over to you, Rosie. I've got some cream here, some lovely whipped cream, which I'll pop on top. I mean, you don't need the cream, but it makes it so much more delicious. Look at that, little dollop of cream. It stands up nicely on top of it. And we've got some berries and mint, Rosie, if you want to grab some of them, and we'll pop some of that on top as well.
And you can change up the topping ingredients as well, which is what I love about this too.
You could, but berries, fresh berries, nothing better than that. Now, I'll grab some mint here, and I'll just show you what one's going to look like at the end. I'll pop this piece of mint in the side there, and then a little bit of icing sugar over the top of it. Looks great, doesn't it?
That is so beautiful.
And the mint is really nice. If you grab it from the garden and pick it so it's still alive when you put it into the little tart there, you can actually hear that mint screaming. It's so fresh, isn't it? Ah, can you hear it? It's fresh. It's lovely. And a little bit of icing sugar over the top of it. Look at that. The kids will love it. And that's the beauty of it. If you can get the kids to help you do it, they get excited, they enjoy their cooking, and it looks fantastic. Now, pop a few of these on the plate here.
It's so simple, but that looks like something that people would just have a big queue outside a bakery trying to pick up.
Exactly, lining up at the door. Now, Rosie, unfortunately, I can only fit 4 of these on the plate, so I've got 2 here left over. So we're going to have a taste of these.
Cheers.
Cheers. Coconut tart with berries, fresh cream and mint.
We're going to get messy, aren't we?
Crunchy, delicate, creamy, coconutty, fresh flavours in there. What a cracker.
I love the coconut. The crunch of that phyllo. I'm all about that. That's delicious.
Maybe we should eat those as well.
So.